Hey, what's up guys? Today we're going to be installing a couple electronic parts from BD Diesel. So for those of you that don't know, I'm on BD Diesel's race team, and BD Diesel is an awesome diesel performance products company. They're based out of Abbotsford, British Columbia, but they service entire North America with their parts. They make everything from transmissions, turbo kits, intercoolers, transcoolers, all that stuff, as well as really high-end electronic components. Like their wiring harnesses and couplers and everything are top-notch, OEM level or better. And so that's what we're going to be dealing with today. I've got a couple parts from them that we're going to throw in the truck and go test them out. So we'll take a look at what we got. So what we've got here is BD Diesel's tap shifter and their staging limiter. So what the tap shifter is it replaces your factory gear selector lever on the older trucks to a newer style one, which has the gear selector option on it. So you can manually shift the gears up or down, still has tow haul and all that. So that's really useful for the guys who, like me, want to have a little bit more control over their truck in performance driving situations, so you can set what gear you want to be in, no matter what you're doing, whether it's burnout, racing, launching, all that good stuff. Or super useful for the guys who tow with their trucks and going up hills or whatnot, and you know what gear you want to be in, but sometimes transmission has a mind of its own. So this way it gives you just a little bit more control over how you're driving. Now this is the exciting one. This is the staging limiter. So what this little guy does is basically launch control for your diesel. So how it works is it taps into the throttle position sensor and gives you a dial to adjust basically the throttle level that's going to the engine as you're staging inline to race. So basically it limits the fuel going to the engine while you can have your foot fully matted on the floor. So you have left foot on the brake, right foot on the gas, and then depending on how you wire it up, either to the brake pedal or to a manual switch, as soon as you hit the switch, boom, launch, on your way. So it makes for super consistent launches at the drag strip, super useful for bracket racers. The other feature included in the staging limiter is their throttle sensitivity booster. So basically what that does is increases the throttle responsiveness by up to 100%. So if there's kind of a laggy throttle or no pedal feel in these trucks sometimes, so you can bump up the sensitivity, and just tapping on the gas gives you 100% more go. So should be make for some fun driving, and yeah, let's get started. As always, the instructions BD includes in their kits are top-notch. Well, you get them online actually, but awesome detailed PDF with full color photos and step-by-step instructions, vehicle specific. So this should be super straightforward install for anyone looking to do this. Just follow along the steps and you'll be golden. So we can take a look just at their the quality of their wiring harnesses right here. Like, this would be, you know, mistaken for factory if these weren't so nice. Even like this shrouding braided cover on here, and everything is super awesome. First things first, I have to disconnect the battery. As you can see, I'm actually only running one battery because I've got this HSP coolant tank that you should have seen me install in my last video, and haven't relocated the other one, and it's been fine starting with just one. I mean, it's summer, it's warm, it's 30 degrees Celsius today, and weight reduction because racetrack. Next thing up is removing the dash trim. So you're going to want to drop your column all the way down. You can pull around the edges, get it to pop out. And another pro tip is to shift all the way down, and voila. Make sure to have your foot hard on the brake when you're doing that though, because it rolls. So after you pull off this lower trim piece, there's this metal plate that comes out with 4 10mm bolts, and then you can access the wiring and linkages under here. Also gonna have to pull this off underneath the steering wheel. So you can see, comparing the new shift lever to the old one, main difference is obviously the buttons. So we gotta transfer the boot over and then stick it back in. So now we've got to move back under the engine bay and remove the 2 10mm bolts for the TCM cover. So now mine is quite a bit tighter fit here because of the BD Diesel Intercooler, which spaces things out a little bit. But should be room nonetheless. So this here is the TCM transmission control module, and so it's tucked away under this cover, and it's a little bit tight to access on my setup, but basically you just got to get that out and remove the upper plug and replace that red clip with this blue one. So I think all that little clip did is just changed color coding so things don't get confusing. Because now we're going to take the BD harness and plug that into the TCM.
system.
So once you get the cable routed inside, you're going to go ahead and connect the BD harness to the BD shifter lever, and then this other tab will connect to the original factory harness. And you're going to tuck all this up nicely and zip tie it away somewhere. So next thing you have to do is take the BD module and mount it up on the TCM cover. Mark a spot, drill a couple holes, and so this is basically what controls the shifter now. Then we're going to stick the TCM back inside and plug it all in. So we've got the tap shifter install finished up. So this is the BD module that plugs in inline. One of the BD harness plugs in, and the factory harness, and then same with the TCM. So this kind of is their electronic brains of the operation that just makes the TCM happy and lets you do what you want with the shifter. So here's the shifter all installed, up, down, tow, haul. So now that that's wrapped up, let's move on to what you really came here for, launch control install. So first thing up is going to be plugging the harness into the factory plugs for the throttle position sensor.
Something that is spontaneous means that which happens of itself. Try to breathe. You've got to let go and let it happen.
So just like the tap shifter, the wiring harness is awesome quality, great looking plugs, and these buttons have a really nice feel on them. And this one's actually a metal dial, really nice, nice feel to it. So we'll go plug it in. So on the Duramaxes, the throttle position sensor plug is located directly above the throttle pedal. There's this little red safety tab that you pull out and then lift right up on the top, and you can pull the plug straight out. So this plug will go into this part of the BD harness, and then plug right next to it on the BD harness will go into the throttle pedal assembly. Then coming down to the other end of the harness, this is what plugs into the magic box. Kind of the point where I've got to decide where I want to mount these. Now BD includes a little metal bracket in their kit that you can stick wherever you want, either with adhesive or screw. Alternatively, for a little bit cleaner install, you can drill holes into your factory dash somewhere and stick these in. So just went ahead and pulled the dash trim out, and looking at this piece, I think what I'm going to do is pull this light out and put it somewhere else. That's for my alarm system, and then mount the staging limiter right here. I think that'll be a nice clean spot, and good to, you know, just do it once, do it right, put it in a permanent spot, and it'll just be a sticker covering that hole, unfortunately. But let's get to it. Okay, so I have my holes marked, the outline at least. So what I'm going to do is drill a couple pilot holes, and I'll step up in size. The The one on the right, I have a bit that fits perfectly into the BD's brackets hole, but I do not have a drill bit large enough to do that one, so I'll just be using my Dremel, and that way it will actually you know, help. You can fine-tune the edges and not worry so much if your pilot hole was slightly off center. So when you're drilling any sort of plastic or soft material like that, you're going to want to bump your speed down quite a bit. Otherwise you're just going to end up melting it and not getting very much done. So you just press down on these side tabs here and then you can pull it right out. So basically this is the circuit board and the brains of the operation here. So what you're going to have to do is first off, when you hook it up, you're going to hit the learn pedal button, and so that will that'll get the circuit to learn the full range of motion of the pedal. And then these switches 1, 2, and 3 you adjust based on the input you want. So switch 1 sets it from throttle, boost, or RPM controlled. So that's another thing you can do with this system, is wire in some extra sensors, and you can use that to launch based on boost level or our engine RPM instead of the throttle position. And then the switch 2 is only if you are using the RPM, and the switch 3 is your pedal sensitivity. So if you want stock, medium, or high sensitivity. What I did there was we plugged in the pedal, or the module, and then turned the ignition to on, pressed the pedal relearn button, and then pressed the throttle pedal, full throttle, fully off, several times within 15 seconds, and then the lights go from ready to active, and then it goes back to ready light flashing. So now we should be ready to go. We'll make the adjustment to the throttle sensitivity booster. I'm going to be running 100% boost to see what that's like, and then go test it out hopefully. So throttle sensitivity booster is switch number 3, and I'm going to turn that to position 3. Well, that's everything. Let's go test it out. Okay, so just right away, definitely notice the increased responsiveness of the throttle pedal, and that's sweet. Just taking off the lights just gets you going right away. And the tap shifter, I'm going to film that. It's basically just hit the button down. Shift down to 3, 2. So the shifter's going to take a little bit of getting used to. Just figuring out where the shift points are that the truck likes. But overall, it's pretty easy to use. You just press and hold down the minus button to shift into manual control mode, or if you want to go back to factory control. So this is how we're going to do the launch control. Turn that button on, foot hard on the brake, foot to the floor, and this will increase our boost level. That went great. Test drive was a success down in Mexico. Overall, super impressed. That throttle sensitivity increase is actually awesome. Just makes the drive around town so smooth. Just tap the throttle and you're on your way. Tap shifter is pretty fun. It's going to take some getting used to, figuring out what the shift points are that it likes. And launch control works really well. I did a couple launches and got the boost dialed in pretty close, launching between 10 and 12 psi. Again, it's just a lot to think about, hitting all the switches at the right time, but I'm sure it will be successful on the strip. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching, everyone. Let me know what you think, and make sure to check out these products from BD Diesel. And they make these not even just for Duramax, they got them for Dodges and Fords as well. So check them out. See you in the next one.